Welcome to Makeup Date 79. I just got back from a trip with my older daughter. It was super fun, but my blush cracked on the way back, so that is going to be used for something else now. I did finish my primer, which is super exciting, so I need to make a new one. And I bought this blush, but it's a little too light, so I'll probably give it to my younger daughter. And I got expired lip balm, so that's not fun. Got to return that. And then I did a ton of different DIY creations. This one, it looks like I was attempting a lipstick because I knew that it would need to set. You'll see by the end of this video that using some of the bases that I put in here, I think it became a little bit too brittle. And so as much as like it's a good texture and stuff like that, it just is not surviving like being in a lipstick form. So I'll probably transform all of this into just like a lip mask at some point. But for now, you can see that I mixed everything together. I use the crap out of my liquid lipstick to kind of really tint it, which is great because it's like a $1 liquid lipstick and it's doing its job. So I'm really happy about that. I ended up putting whatever I couldn't get in there into my little lip mask container. I think I just like put in whatever was left of that lip mask and really just filled that back up. So yeah, it's kind of nice now. I realize I really do need to have kind of a lip dump type of thing, and that container is great. Anyways, here, as you can see, I'm doing something weird. I'm putting a little bit of foundation, and then I think I'm trying to make a blush out of this, so I put in like a red, like a kind of an orangey red type of tone with some white just to kind of lighten things up. And the tone I got was really a peachy blush. I wasn't super happy with this first shade, and I ended up redoing it 3 times. I think I filmed all of them. So this first one was super orangey, but at least it was a consistency I liked, which is, you know, baseline, right? So I let that one set, and then this next project I ended up trying to make a primer. It was a real challenge. I started with a kind of a beeswax base here. I already had some oils in it. It's kind of mixed, kind of a solid like beeswax oil type of thing. I put in some lip gloss because I was searching online and said the mineral oil that's in my lip gloss base could be a decent primer option, but I think we all know that's not true. So now that I've experimented once, I'm like, no, never again. But like my skin hasn't reacted poorly to it so far, but it's definitely something I wouldn't recommend for anyone who's doing DIY. But I have a ton of powder mixtures in here, mainly kaolin clay, as well as a silica, and those help mattify as well as kind of, you know, be silky, pore filling type thing. And that was kind of what I was looking for. So can't really attest to it that it's a perfect formula yet, but at least it was my first try. So this is the kind of the lip mask that I made. It's definitely more solid than the other lip masks I've made in the past. Actually a really decent texture. So I'm going to continue to work on that formula. And then I'm just showing you kind of how this primer is set up. I did put it in the freezer for a little bit. It doesn't set up great, but the one in the pan did set up okay. It's just really like balmy, you know, kind of like that lip gloss texture. It's not what you would expect out of a primer. It would not set. Not the end of the world because I do set everything with a powder, but just not something I'm super crazy about. Oh, and then that is the blush that I made, and you can see it's super orangey. Not bad for a blush, especially for my kind of warm skin tone, but not something I'm looking for. So I did end up reformulating that a little bit later. This is a lipstick, and I don't think it's set properly. So you're gonna see I get a little frustrated with it, but at first it was okay, and but yeah, I just like hadn't let it sit in the freezer like I usually do, and so definitely was a mistake there. And I think the formula was too soft, so there was kind of, you know, there was probably multiple reasons why it broke this time around. Also I was using a new mold, so I don't know if the mold itself like wasn't kind of releasing it properly. It was just kind of all sorts of I don't know what's going on type of situation. But that is a part of my typical journey here, is just like I don't know what's going on. I'm just cleaning my old lipstick container here to try to, you know, have some space for everything. Yeah, but really happy still that I at least got this shade. This shade I'm really happy with. It's quite sheer, and so I think I stuck with the shade. It's just the formula itself was really difficult to work with. And as you can see here, I'm like trying to figure out why it's not releasing the way that it should. But it was honestly because it was too soft and it was actually breaking as I was spinning it here. So had to go back to the drawing board with that one. Yep. And that's a failed lipstick right there. It's always like a bajillion like thoughts running through my head as soon as that happens. I'm like, can I shove it back together? It was like so close, but I don't think it was meant to be. And it was never, it really wasn't the right formula. So that one went into the lip graveyard for now. And then I ended up reformulating it in the next clip. All right, so we are trying again with a few things. I think we are now working on this lipstick and trying to do it right. Here I'm just putting in however much, and I ended up pulling aside some beeswax, adding a little bit of beeswax, not as much as that whole container, but yes, using definitely a lot more beeswax to try to set it up properly. Added in a few extra like shea butter things, and just like to kind of still keep it soft, like I didn't want it to be like a hard beeswax. And kind of mixed it up and gave it another try. So this time I think I added in maybe a little bit more what's called liquid lipstick, just to kind of give it more of a thing. And then here I think I'm just kind of melting everything back down so the lipstick graveyard isn't like kind of weird and bumpy and stuff like that. And then here I ended up adding more beeswax, and I think I was redoing the primer this time, and I wanted it to be more firm, so that's why I added more beeswax. Put in whatever was in the pan just to kind of start kind of finessing that one, and added in a ton more clay and a ton more silica powder. Just because I realized like I really, really wanted those mattifying and pore filling properties, as well as I think I added in at least a good chunk of, here we go, like of my cream foundation, just to tint it a little bit. And plus it's like, who wouldn't want a little bit of coverage while you're putting on primer, right? It really was pretty sheer, but I realized that the formula was really bubbly, like it wasn't setting off the way I wanted it to, but made it work. Giving it a try right now, and it seems to be like okay, decent. I can't say like, oh, I'm like super matte all day, but it's not like my makeup looks terrible at the end of the day either, so that's all that I can ask for. Now I'm reformulating the blush. I realized it was too warm, and I had a whole catastrophe of all of my eyeshadows falling in, but yeah, that's part of the game. I added in some purple, and like you can see it, like it's not the right shade. I added in a ton more of that liquid lipstick actually, and that became like the game changer, was adding in the liquid lipstick. And I think that ended up being the formula I went with, and pretty happy with that actually. Realized that adding purple was not the answer, but adding in that liquid lipstick was. And so I ended up really trying to get this one in there, and I think this one broke too, and I couldn't figure out why. I think this time I also didn't put it in the freezer, like I didn't put it in there enough, so I was back to the drawing board. I think this is the third time. I think I just did it right away. Just dug it all out and put it in there, and I think I added in like a little bit from the graveyard, and then just because I knew it wouldn't fill it all the way up, just every time I kind of put things from one container into another, I just lose some, and so I just kind of remelted it and tried to like do it properly this time. Surprisingly enough, I never had to add any glitter in here like I do for my other lipsticks, and I also didn't have to add any peppermint oil. I feel like both of them from other formulas that I threw in here actually survived and lingered, and so I just like didn't add any of that. It's just a lot of like just trying to finesse it and make sure that the steps I took were correct, not so much that the color or anything like that wasn't giving me issues this time, which was great because that has been an issue in the past. And so, oh, I guess this is the blush again. I really was not happy with that color. So I added in like a ton more liquid lipstick. And here I am melting it back down. And sorry, it's like kind of off in the corner. It's zoomed in a little too far. But yeah, I got it into that pan. And I think this ended up being the final color. And honestly, really, really solid. So here I am finally getting it off the way that it should. And I think it took me a little bit of time, but I was able to get that in there. I was able to get it to release. Oh, thank goodness. It was definitely a struggle bus. But here we are at the end, able to just pop it right off. And yeah, I wasn't sure how soft it was going to be. It seemed pretty solid in there, but I was pretty happy with that. And so Let me see. Oh, here I am. I actually tried to mix my own eye primer, which I'm not super happy with. It is still giving me glitter fallout. This is 2 shades from Danessa Myricks that I kind of mixed in here to this taupey color, and these were just way too glittery. I got quite a bit of products, but I think I might end up scrapping this and trying something different because I'm just really not happy with how glittery this is. It looks really pretty out of the container, and I was hoping that maybe with the isododecane and just like how fast it like sets, it would also set the glitter, but I don't think anything can ever set glitter is what I've decided. So I will be back to the drawing board with this one. I might end up just scrapping it completely. I even tried adding some foundation to kind of just like mute it down, but still didn't work. So I'll be kind of back to get some more samples elsewhere. And this is what happened to the lipstick, so I'll be trying again later. Thanks for watching.